Hey everyone, Mike Wolf here with Entrepreneurs Making a Difference. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. And in every episode, we try to bring in some people that are doing amazing things, not just in terms of the businesses that they've created, but also in terms of the things that they're doing to help people and give back and make this a better planet. So I'm very happy to have my guest here today. I met him recently, actually, at an event down in the U.S. And unbeknownst to me at the time, he turns out to be from Calgary, which is where I'm from. So we had a lot in common. We had some really good conversations, and I decided it'd be great to introduce him to everybody. And so his name is Alan Chong, and I'm just going to read his bio here. He's been a practicing chiropractor for 27 years. He's the founder, owner, and director of 3 very successful clinics here in Calgary, Center for Chiropractic Care and Calgary Spinal Decompression Center, a spine care center. So his most recent entrepreneurial launch is an online health coaching business called thespinecoach.com. And welcome to the show, and thanks for being here, Alan.
Thank you very much there, Mike. Happy to be on your show. It's awesome what you're doing.
So how are you doing tonight?
Excellent day. I've finished a day of practice. I'm still practicing chiropractor, busy guy.
Yeah, you have a lot of stuff on the go. I was just on your website checking out some of the stuff you have there, and I think it's very timely. There seems to be a lot of people with back problems, either from motor vehicle accidents, and I think obviously people aren't taking as good a care of themselves as maybe they should be, and so I think this is very important to have talk about health.
Absolutely. That's something I'm passionate about, is helping people, especially in the healthcare. And one of the things I'm doing now is health coaching, and that's what you're referring to there, Mike, I think, when you're referring to the website stuff that you've been looking at.
Yeah. Well, I saw one of your videos that you created, and you talk about something called the Pain Release Gateway. Can you tell me more about that? What does that mean, and how does that work?
Well, it's actually, I defined the Pain Release Gateway as something really to identify switches. It's a series of switches that I discovered that turn down pain, and in some cases eliminate pain, and in other cases, Mike, there are other switches you can virtually activate that free up energy that you never knew you had inside you before. So it's something I've observed with clients and patients over many years of practice, to over 27 years of practice, and I kind of pulled it together based on current research, what's trending and such, and defined it as the pain release gateway. So really, for people who are in pain and discomfort, you'll want to know some of these switches. For example, exercise and fitness, and one of the reasons that you hear about some people are able to decrease, in some cases eliminate pain naturally through something as simple as certain types of exercise. And of course, everybody's different, and that's the trick. There's no absolute formula for that. And then there's certain other switches that you can activate and turn on, which increase the flow of energy. One of them is nourishment, and I define nourishment of the brain and the nervous system. Most people don't think about nourishing their brain and the nervous system, but it's a very important part of understanding nutrition and nourishment. So that is a pain release gateway. It's a gateway to free up energy that you never knew you had before. And for example, you told me a story, Mike, that when you changed some of your lifestyle things, some of your pain went away, right? That's exactly what I'm talking about for pain release gateway.
Very interesting. And yeah, I definitely, I was having a lot of problems, not with my back, with my feet. And I was told to go vegetarian, and it's made a tremendous difference. I don't get the swelling, and I found out I was allergic to a number of things that I used to be eating, and I'm sure a lot of people might have the same problems I was having with my feet, potentially in other parts of their body, I'm guessing.
Exactly. Yeah. And the unique thing is that everybody is different. There is no absolute formula, even though there are certain triggers and certain things that are fairly universal. That's one of the things I coach on, and that is to help people figure out what those pain releases are, and also what those gateways to increased and amazing energy are. And everybody can benefit from more energy these days, and positive energy in this day and age, don't you think, Mike?
Oh, it's absolutely. It makes such a big difference, and I always tell people that one of the things that I purposely do is hang out with positive positive people and people with good energy, because it makes such a big difference. And I used to, I unfortunately had to get a few people out of my life that were energy vampires that just drain you, and just make such a big difference, who you hang out with and what their attitude is and what their mindset is.
Exactly.
And that's what the show's all about. I only bring really amazing entrepreneurs that are doing good things and positive people on the show. I wouldn't bring some of those people on my show, that's for sure.
Appreciate that, Mike.
There you go. So you're in good company. So I have a question for you. I was, as I mentioned, watching some of your videos, and under your Spine Coach brand, I noticed that you had something called Energized Entrepreneurs. And
Right. Well,
yeah, so I
yeah.
noticed you're spending a lot of time focusing specifically on entrepreneurs. So what was your reasoning behind that?
Well, for one, as you know, I mean, I think you're an entrepreneur in the highest level too, there, Mike, and you know that at times, certainly in your history, you've sat for long hours. And what I realize is that many entrepreneurs and small business owners sit for hours and hours and hours. I'm hearing statistics like 10, 12, 14 hours, and often with poor posture and not great setups ergonomically and such. And so they're suffering. If you're one of those people, I mean, you can relate. In working physically on this program, I have sat more than I ever have since I was in university and college. So I could feel the effects of sitting, and in my job, it's very active as a practicing chiropractor. I don't sit a lot. So I was feeling it myself, and I really think the universe said, you've got to feel this for yourself and experience it. So entrepreneurs have a huge need. Plus, we're creative people. Plus, we're innovative. Plus, we're always thinking about things, and so we're often working, and these days often in front of a computer. And so my program actually addresses the common painful, and if you're not in pain, that's great, but it might be the tension and the headaches and the migraines and all the offshoots, and in particular the low energy that you might not even be realizing that your productivity and your profitability therefore is going down as you struggle with these issues. And by the way, decreasing pain is one of the gateways to freedom from pain, of course, and having much better energy is decreasing or eliminating pain.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, pain is such a big stress, both physically and mentally. And I know from experience now, unfortunately, I had to find out the hard way that it can totally change your whole outlook on life. I mean, it just totally can bring you down. That's so true.
Exactly. So that's why I realized that entrepreneurs, probably among the largest group of people who are not being helped, because I work with a lot of corporate people too. They have formal ergonomics programs. They have all these other programs. But what does the average entrepreneur have as a resource? Well, you could spend a lot of time on the internet, which you don't have, or a set program that is proven to work. With my years of experience, I decided, you know what, I want to reach out to the world and help people, and that's been my passion for the last while, is to do that.
Right. Well, that's great, and I think entrepreneurs are obviously a very important demographic, because more and more people are going into the entrepreneurial world. They're leaving the corporate, and they're heading. I mean, people are almost being forced to go that direction because with layoffs and all that good stuff going on, right? So
exactly. So that's a group that really needed help, and I wanted to focus on reaching them and helping them, because I myself am an entrepreneur and can relate in a different way, certainly from the coaching standpoint, because coaching gives me the freedom to work with you, for example, and work with others, and to speak actually, and to share just like this, that there are natural solutions, and that's the key too, because there's so many unnatural and drug solutions out there which are not serving people well. I mean, the misuse of medications that are properly prescribed is on the rise, and it's horrendous to see what's happening in the youth, that they're getting hold of these meds, as well as adult addictions and dependencies. So that's an area that leads down in a downward spiral for a lot of people, and it can destroy lives. So we want to turn that around by simply awareness and then have solutions to not only ease pain, but to have freedom, to have great energy on a consistent basis naturally.
Oh, I agree. It's so I'm the same way. I'm not really a big fan of taking medication unless I absolutely have to, and uh, I don't know. I think so many people do get overly dependent on these drugs, and I mean that's really what the pharmaceutical companies want. They don't necessarily want to cure you. It seems like they want to keep you on their drugs indefinitely because that's how they make money, unfortunately. So I think what you're doing is great.
Thank you.
So I have another question for you. I mean, you have several different programs, and I haven't had a chance to take them yet, but they look really interesting. What would you say is a key to success, though, for somebody who takes your programs? What's the key to success with that?
Well, I think the key to success is, I can speak from delivery standpoint, is that I'm doing this because I care for people, my passion is people, I love to work with people, and all the more joy that I get, and the reward is in hearing some of these testimonials that I hear on a day-to-day basis in my office. But now I realized I can reach people globally and help and share through information. The, the 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 unique approach is innovative through years of experience, knowing what works for people, based on also not so much just research-based. We're talking about what practically works, like practical ergonomic advice. Ergonomics is so important because how we sit at a workstation is essential, and how we hold ourselves with great posture or not drains your energy or it enhances your energy throughout a day. So and as I mentioned, that coaching is a unique perspective. I believe that health coaching is on the rise, and I want to be a trendsetter. I mean, I'm a thought leader in that sense, and want to present ideas to people at the beginning so that you can get it from a high level of reliability and confidence when you work with me or look at my information. You know that, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. It's not just based on textbook material, and I help pull together the information that's very confusing on the internet. And in fact, there's ulterior motives on the internet. You know, I'm not here to sell anything to anybody. I'm here to inform you so that you can get help. And certainly when I work with private clients and group coaching, I want to share with them, pull together information that they've been trying to seek out, or even when they see a practitioner. I'm not practicing online. I'm coaching, which is different because I'm not rendering actual treatment or not giving a client treatment advice. I'm giving you information that will hopefully guide you to get better results with the people you're working with in your community.
Right, right. That sounds really, really interesting. So, how many different programs are you? It sounds like you have several different programs coming down the pipeline. Are they all aimed towards the entrepreneur? And
Well, right now the focus is entrepreneurs, with the launch of my new program, Energized Entrepreneur. But really, group coaching, as I mentioned, and then for those people who really want to work with me on a one-to-one basis and get that, then it's one-on-one coaching. I call it the elite coaching packages, and you know, those are customized to a client. And so, I mean, at this point I'm still practicing, so time is a premium, but I can see where using Hangouts and using these different forms of media, now all of a sudden I realized this last year that I want to spread my good information worldwide and help people worldwide, because I've been helping people locally, which gives me a lot of joy, and I'm passionate about that. But it was revealed to me, and I came to the conclusion that, yeah, this is something I want to do. I mean, it's incredible how many people are trapped in their various different work situations, especially entrepreneurs and small business people, thinking that I don't know what else to do. I might have to crash my business, or, you know, it's not going anywhere. I can't even sit for anymore because of their physical ailments. And these are the people that need help like mine.
of course, of course, that's one of the most amazing things these days. I mean, the fact that technology and the cost of the technology has come down so much that we can actually do what we're doing right now. We can communicate remotely, and, you know, have an impact on people on other sides of the planet. And as you know, I'm a real estate investor, and I create a lot of video content. And it's very rewarding when I get an email from somebody on a different side of the world I would have never been able to have any impact on, and they've seen my videos and they say, oh, we appreciate you putting the video out there. And I imagine for somebody who's practicing things that are helping you with your health, I mean, to know that you can impact somebody on a different side of this planet, it's just a phenomenal feeling for you, I bet.
And it's just beginning right now. As I say, health coaching is just starting. There's been some people doing it, but really I just decided that's a media that I want to use and to help people. Eventually it's going to go to, I can see live events, certainly speaking on stages to get that message out there, but really is to help more people and change the paradigm. There are major paradigm shifts even in healthcare, but they're very slow to happen because, like you mentioned, Mike, there are the marketing initiatives of large multinational companies that don't want you to get away from taking certain things or your reliance on certain medications perhaps. They would rather you not seek natural treatments. And they don't come out and say that, but you know that that's their business. So what are they doing? They're indoctrinating you on different media. And it's a bit of a scary thing because it's scary on one side, but the good thing is that you have a choice. And I try to help people get clarity because, as I said, the more that's on the internet, the more confusing it can be for many. And so I've been told by a number of people that my programs are simple, easy to understand, relatable, and easy to implement tools. And that's the way I'm keeping it.
Yeah, well, that's usually important because even if you put a ton of information out there, but it was a lot of medical talk where the typical layperson didn't understand what you were saying, they would probably just get turned off and they probably wouldn't use it. But if you make it relatable and easy to use and you start to get great results, it's just going to spread. I'm very sure of that.
Exactly. That's my goal.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. So you've been practicing as a chiropractor for many years. What caused this transition? What caused you one day just to wake up and say, okay, I like being a chiropractor still, but I want to have a bigger impact. I want to get my message out there in a bigger way. I'm going to create courses. What inspired that? Was it a certain person or a book, or was there some specific event?
Yeah, there was, and if I can use names, it was a joint venturing event that kind of opened my eyes to the possibilities, because I started meeting people like you, Mike, that were doing business around the world, really. And I thought, wow, gee, does that really apply to me? And then when I started to talk to more people and they said and encouraged me, I got the big picture and said, through media and through speaking and through various different outlets and such as this, Mike, thank you very much, just to communicate with people so that their awareness gets raised. And there's certainly, as an entrepreneur, there's a market for that type of thing. People want certain things, but they want it very specifically. So, and specifically delivered by people they want to work with. They don't want to be stuck. And these days, you don't have to be stuck with this or that opinion only. You can seek other opinions. You can get health coaching, for example. And I realized that what I was doing is coaching my learning to be the best coach, actually, in a healthcare arena. Yes, to my patients / clients, but now on an international basis. Again, I won't be treating and not offering treatment advice, but I can coach you, for example, or your friends or your people from around the world that engage me to do that, to help them be a lot healthier person. And my view is very holistic. It's not just as a chiropractor. It's certainly, I talk about thoughts become things. Mike Dooley. I talk about the universe, and I talk about where meditation and guided visualizations that many out there talk about. But I don't necessarily do those things. But I certainly engage that and use that process for clients, so they have reasonable options. There's so many natural options. Even that in itself is confusing. So often a person needs guidance on that.
Yeah, no, I think it's really interesting because I went to University of Calgary, and I have a psychology degree, which I've never directly used, but we learn the scientific method, and I know you learn the scientific method, and I really like the way that, uh, we're always taught, oh, you have to be able to prove this and prove that, and I love the fact that you bring in things like the universe and some of those things that you can't always prove, but you just know, right? And instinctively, some of this stuff happens, and this is stuff that when I was in university, I was very, I guess it was very cut and dry for me. It's either you prove it or you can't prove it, and it's cut and dry. And I know a lot doctors are taught to think that way, and so I think it's really cool that you have evolved to think outside the box, as have I. And the world is changing, and people are starting to see that not everything you learned in school is really necessarily true, and there's a lot of perception, and so I think I just like the way that you bring that into your practice as well.
For sure, and I used to be, when I was a new graduate, of course, was very much what you described, Mike. But as I became more comfortable, and as the worldwide shift is happening and has been happening for a number of years now, people know better. They question the doctor. They should question the doctor. They should question me. So understanding that there are universal principles, something called innate intelligence, the innate ability for each of us to heal when hurt or hurting, that's something that is universal. And there's so many universal principles that have been kind of shut down by traditional medicine and even the chiropractic profession. So I've taken that type of information and created I didn't create that, but I hold to a philosophy that's much more open than most healthcare practitioners, but yet I don't live on the edge of alternative, even though there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that I'm very practical, and the advice and the information I give is very sensible. And the bottom line is results. I always say in my office is the bottom line with whoever you're working with is results.
Well, that's the most important thing. I mean, the proof is really in the pudding, right? So if you're not getting results, that's the most important thing, is to get those.
I agree.
Yeah, so obviously this show is called Making a Difference, so I'm going to bring up the usual question, and that is, what are you currently doing, or what have you done, or what would you like to do in the future that would make a difference to this planet? And it can't be related to your practice or something totally different. What lights you up?
Well, it truly does light me up. This has been my passion for the last several months, is to create not just a program, but just begin to share like this, to meet people like you, Mike, and my world is expanded to become international, certainly after that one joint venturing conference. But just the connection to share a message with like-minded people. A lot of what I'm hearing is heart-centered, and I didn't really know that terminology before, but I realized that, yeah, I am a very heart-centered type of practitioner. I'm not just a textbook at all. And I'm willing to share that with people and to help people with that. So how I see that now making a difference is that even through this simple show episode today, I know it's going to be spread around and passed around, and people are going to end up contacting me even from all parts of the world. It's very possible that either need some help or some information, or want me as a guest speaker. That just naturally happens because we start creating these connections, and that's one of the reasons I love the format that you've chosen too, Mike, is to do this, so that there's cross-referencing and there's just help, that people that truly want to help other people. That's the way I would consider it. And I want to group with people like you that are doing those things. And of course, there's an entrepreneurial. I mean, we have to make a living too, and I can't just do this as a hobby. But really making a difference is, I've created a big vision and dream of a big vision to impact a lot of people, and I just know that some world stages, even simply via the internet, you're going to hear more.
Well, exactly, and I think you hit it right on the. I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. It is important. Of course, we want to help everybody. We want to help the whole world. And a lot of entrepreneurs are they're very sensitive when it comes to that sales part. They want to do everything for free and help the world, but you can't really sustain your message if you're not monetizing it somehow. You've got to have some money coming in so you can take care of yourself as well. And so
I agree.
there's certainly there's no harm in that. And a
No.
lot of times entrepreneurs, like I said, we're very, very giving, but it's just like when you go on an airplane and they say put your oxygen mask on first. It doesn't mean you're selfish. It just means you can't help the person next to you if you're not alive yourself.
I've
So,
never experienced that, Mike, and I hope we don't experience that.
well, I've been fortunate with the number of flights I've been on. I haven't had to experience that either. But truly, I think you're doing an amazing thing, and I know you're going to have a big global impact, and you deserve all the wealth that comes with that, so you can continue to spread that message in an even bigger way, in a more
Thank you.
powerful way. So we need to bring this show to a close. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. But before we go, if you could tell the audience the best way to contact you.
Well, the best way to contact me is through Alan Chong, AlanChong, at thespinecoach.com. And please, if you forget that one, just go to thespinecoach.com and contact and get a hold of me that way, or reach Mike
Yeah,
Wolf Mastery.
there you go. I know how to get a hold of you. I can track you down.
And these days, we tag different things, so there's no excuse to get a hold of people now.
No, that's true. It's very simple. The world is becoming a smaller place in so many ways.
Appreciate that, Mike. Enjoyed our time. Thank you very much again.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for being here, Alan. Appreciate it. And I want to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in. And I hope to see you soon at our next Entrepreneurs Making a Difference episode. Have a great day.